This is Hades 2, Condensed. First, here's a quick recap of Hades 1. Zagreus, the son of Hades and the prince of the underworld, discovers that Persephone, his long-lost mom, is living on the surface. Determined to meet his mom for the first time, Zagreus makes repeated attempts to escape the underworld, defying his father's will. When Zagreus finally meets Persephone, the two of them catch up and he convinces his mom to return to the house of Hades. The Olympian gods don't know that Persephone is still alive, let alone that Zagreus is her son. To foster better relations, the house of Hades invites the Olympian gods to the underworld for a grand feast. At the gathering, Persephone twists the truth about her situation. She says that she and Hades fell in love, so she fled to the underworld and eloped. Not long after, she gave birth to Zagreus. When Zagreus later learned about his family on Olympus, he sought to connect with them. All of that is technically true as separate statements. She left out a lot of details. The truth is, Zeus sent Persephone to the underworld in secret after seeing how miserable she was living on Mount Olympus, as well as noticing Hades' affection for her. As expected, Zeus plays along with the lie to avoid any trouble. The Olympian gods accept the story they've been given, and things settle peacefully. So that brings us to Hades 2. This flashback occurs later in the game, but this is where everything begins. Realizing something has gone terribly wrong, Hades entrusts Melinoe, his newborn daughter, over to Hecate, the titaness of witchcraft.
No harm shall come to young Melinoe, my lord. In this, at least, I shall not fail you. Farewell.
Goodbye, daughter.
Hades finds that everyone else in the house of Hades has been frozen in time, thanks to Kronos, the Titan of Time, who's also Hades' father.
And now you have a family of your own. How full of life they are, despite the dour environs.
Kronos isn't on friendly terms with Hades or any other of the Olympian gods, for that matter. Getting chopped up and thrown into Tartarus by his own children might have played a role in that. Now that he's back, Kronos plans to take over the underworld and eventually reclaim his rule over the rest of the world as well. Melinoe grows up under Hecate's care at the crossroads, located right between the surface and the underworld. Although Hecate doesn't see herself as a parent, she still raises Melinoe like one. Ultimately, her main goal is to train Melinoe to take down Kronos. Fast forward a couple years, Melinoe begins her journey through the underworld. The first region she has to get through is Erebus, where the souls of the recently deceased are initially sent to. Melinoe must go deeper into the underworld to fight Kronos, but she's not strong enough yet. Whenever she gets too injured, she retreats back to the crossroads. Back home, Melinoe meets with a few of her allies. The first is Dora, a shade with a mischievous personality. She doesn't really seem to care much about anything, but she does enjoy conversing with Melinoe. Odysseus here serves as a strategist for the crossroads. He occasionally gives useful material and offers intel to help Melinoe in her journey. And there's Nemesis, a sentry who frequently abandons her post. She's especially abrasive towards Melinoe, believing she's unfit to be the one to take down Kronos. Next we have Hypnos, the god of sleep, who has been asleep for pretty much the entire time Melinoe has known him. And then we have Skelemius, who allows himself to be a training dummy. Skelemius is indeed Skelly from the first game. He's not supposed to be taken super seriously, but Skelemius does give worthwhile combat advice, and Melinoe holds him in high regard. And of course, there's Hecate, the Witch of the Crossroads. She runs things around here. Melinoe continues her journey through the underworld, and she gets plenty of support on the way. The Olympian gods can't help in person, as they're busy fighting their own battles on Olympus, but they are able to help out using their divine boons. Some of the gods include Zeus, god of sky and thunder, Poseidon, god of the sea, Demeter, goddess of the four seasons, Aphrodite, goddess of love, Hermes, the messenger god, Apollo, god of light, Hestia, goddess of flame and hearth, Hephaestus, the craftsman god, and Selene, the moon incarnate. Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, is an exception. She actually shows up in person and helps Melinoe clear out enemies. She also likes to hang out at the crossroads from time to time. Charon, the boatman of the underworld, will be present at random locations to sell assorted goods. Charon speaks in unintelligible moans and groans, yet somehow Melinoe understands what he's saying. Arachne hangs around Erebus, and she offers her silk dresses to Melinoe whenever she visits. Sometimes, a portal to the void will open up, where Chaos, the first living thing in existence, awaits. Chaos will offer their power to Melinoe, because even Chaos doesn't like Kronos doing as he pleases. When Melinoe reaches the end of Erebus, she finds Hecate waiting for her. Hecate won't let Melinoe pass until she proves her strength in battle. Should Hecate be satisfied with Melinoe's combat abilities, Melinoe will be able to proceed to Oceanus. Oceanus is at the edge of Poseidon's domain, still part of the underworld deep under the ocean. Narcissus, the icon of self-love, has made himself at home at Oceanus, where he's surrounded by his own fan club of shades. Every time Melinoe runs into him, Narcissus gives her a gift he received from one of his many suitors. At the end of Oceanus awaits Scylla and the Sirens. Yeah, the Sirens are trying to kill Melinoe, but they're kinda cool though. They put on a whole concert to entertain their fans while fighting. After a few encounters, the Sirens even write 2 songs about Melinoe, one a diss track and the other a love ballad. As Melinoe continues her quest back and forth through the underworld, Moros, the incarnation of Doom, will eventually reach out to her.
You're Lord Moros, emissary of the 3 fates. So your sisters heard me after all?
They expected me to find you, for there's something they intend for you to have.
Moros comes to stay at the crossroads, and he provides the fated list of prophecies. On the list, Melinoe can see the tasks she will eventually come to complete. Moros proves to be a supportive ally, but he refuses to reveal any major events yet to come, including whether Melinoe will be able to stop Kronos. After Melinoe gets past the Sirens in Oceanus, she can proceed to the Fields of Mourning, a vast expanse where many shades wander around in misery. In the fields, Melinoe might encounter Echo, a nymph cursed to speak only by repeating the words spoken to her.
Is there something I could do to ease your burden? I could ease your burden, your burden, your burden.
After a few meetings with Narcissus and Echo, Melinoe finds out that Echo had a huge crush on Narcissus back when they were mortals, and she still does. With some help, they could end up reconnecting. Near the exit of the Fields of Mourning, a 3-headed infernal beast emerges. Melinoe realizes that the beast is Cerberus, who's become corrupted. Apparently, hitting him a couple times will turn Cerberus back to his usual self. And so, Melinoe finally reaches Tartarus, the deepest region of the underworld, where Kronos' influence is readily apparent. In one of the chambers, Melinoe meets Hades, who's accompanied by Cerberus.
Lord Hades, you're my father. I'm Melinoe. I'm your daughter.
My daughter, Melinoe. Merciful fates. You cannot be here. He shall find you. He'll find you and...
Hades has become a prisoner in his own realm, thanks to Kronos. He can't do much, but he does pass some of his power to his daughter before she sets off. Melinoe continues forth until she reaches the House of Hades, where Kronos has made himself at home. As expected, Kronos is a force to be reckoned with, but if Melinoe somehow manages to defeat him, he will only be gone for a brief moment until he regenerates. Melinoe heads into Zagreus' old bedroom and takes a nap on his bed. While her physical body is asleep, she moves around in her incorporeal form. Melinoe passes through the Mirror of Night to travel back in time, before she was born. And guess what? We get to see Zagreus again.
Prince Zagreus, please listen to my voice. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Definitely something I consume then. Or else, oh, this is just a dream.
Zagreus is dreaming, and he's being told by his sister from the future that their grandfather Kronos will return and take over the world. Melinoe believes the best way to stop Kronos is to do it in the past, in Zagreus' time. This is a lot to take in, and Zagreus isn't entirely convinced yet. Kronos begins to regenerate, so Melinoe promises to return to Zagreus before retreating to the crossroads. Melinoe has to make her way through the underworld again and fight Kronos again. Kronos hasn't caught on to what Melinoe is trying to accomplish, but he's more than happy to fight anyway. After taking down Kronos, Melinoe goes to see Zagreus. In fact, they meet several separate times to work out a game plan. Zagreus discovers a special weapon, Gigaros, which might be able to take down Kronos permanently. He also finds where Kronos is in his time, located underneath the house of Hades. So Zagreus lays Gigaros next to his bed, which Melinoe is somehow able to retrieve, using some timey-wimey logic. Zagreus is a little hesitant about killing Kronos. He is their grandfather after all. Despite seeing the worst of Kronos, Melinoe does sympathize with him. So Melinoe agrees with Zagreus that he should make an attempt at peace with Kronos, and if things go south, Zagreus agrees to kill him. Back at the crossroads, Hecate advises Melinoe to test out Gigaros on another target, since they will only have one chance to use it on Kronos. So Melinoe steps out onto the surface world for the first time, and because she was born in the underworld, she immediately starts dying. She doesn't belong on the surface. Defying the will of the fates, Melinoe casts an incantation that neutralizes her underworld curse, allowing her to be on the surface for as long as she wants. Her goal is to reach Mount Olympus, but first, she must get through the city of Ephyra. Along the way, she gets acquainted with two more Olympian gods. There's Hera, the goddess of marriage and the queen of the Olympians, and Ares, the god of war. Like the other Olympian gods, they only make an appearance using their boons. Inside the city, overrun with Kronos' forces, Medea, a fellow witch, might be hanging around, more than willing to lend her magic to Melinoe's cause. Heracles, the mightiest of men, shows up sometimes, but he doesn't present himself as an ally. He just pops in, takes down his enemies, and leaves after a few brief words. Once Melinoe gets past the magic barrier at the city's exit, she will come face to face with Polyphemus, a Cyclops working for Kronos. After enough damage is dealt, Polyphemus simply goes to sleep, and Melinoe proceeds to the Rift of Thessaly. She takes a ride on one of the ghost ships headed towards Olympus, all the while battling with more enemies. During the voyage, an old friend swoops in to help. It's Icarus, who offers air support with his explosive trinkets. Before heading off, he gives one of his useful inventions to help Melinoe. At the end of the voyage, on the shore, awaits one troublesome obstacle, Eris, the embodiment of strife. Eris isn't on anyone's side. She has no cause and serves no one. She's just there to make a nuisance for no reason. After Eris is out of the way, Melinoe will finally reach Mount Olympus, home to the Olympian gods. The place has seen better days. Olympus is overrun with Kronos' forces and the Olympian automatons, which make no distinction between friend or foe. One of the few Olympian gods that actually shows up amidst the action is Athena, the goddess of wisdom, who offers her blessing before quickly departing to fight elsewhere. One particular god, however, doesn't care at all about the war on Olympus.
Those eyes! Zach, man, is that you? You've changed! I like it.
Dionysus, the god of wine, is busy hosting a secret party, but at least he gives a boon to Melinoe whenever she stops by. As Melinoe ascends Olympus, she will be stopped by Prometheus, the titan of foresight. He has sided with Kronos and now fights for a future he believes must come to pass. If Prometheus is defeated, Melinoe will be able to reach the summit, where a big storm is raging. Eventually, Melinoe will confront the source of all the chaos, Typhon, the father of all monsters. He is quite the big boy, but with a few stabs, explosions, and some lightning bolts from Zeus, Typhon will go down. Only temporarily though. Melinoe is allowed into the palace of Zeus, the highest point of Olympus, practically untouched by the war below. Zeus and Hera are there in person to thank Melinoe for taking down Typhon. Apollo's there too, and with his help, Melinoe is sent back to the crossroads. As tedious as it is, Melinoe has to start all the way back from the city of Erebus and fight her way up to Olympus, then she has to fight Typhon again. She does this a few more times until she finds a way to kill Typhon once and for all. After infusing Gagaros with an incantation, Millenoi battles her way to the top and stabs Typhon with Gagaros. And it works. Typhon is destroyed for good. Millenoi casts an incantation using Typhon's leftover essence, allowing Kronos to be destroyed permanently using Gagaros. When Millenoi makes her way through the underworld again, Kronos takes Hecate captive. Millenoi goes to the House of Hades to fight Kronos once more. Kronos has a bit more fight in him this time, but still, Millenoi manages to defeat him. For the final push, Millenoi travels through the mirror and meets with Zagreus. Now, Zagreus has to do his part. With the incantation active, Zagreus can use Gagaros to permanently kill Kronos. But Zagreus wants to talk first. In a hidden confinement area in Tartarus, Zagreus meets Kronos, who's still feeling bitter about being betrayed by his own family. Zagreus offers Kronos a chance to come back to the House of Hades for a little family reunion. It's either that or he dies. At first, Kronos doesn't give a proper answer.
Sibling, a future with such grandchildren as you or the eternal void. How can I possibly decide?
That's it, I'm stabbing you.
No, wait.
In a twist of events, we get to see an alternate timeline, one where Kronos says yes to Zagreus' offer and is accepted back into the family. We see Kronos playing hide-and-seek with a young Millenoi. They get along just like any grandparent and granddaughter would.
And right now... Tag, you are it.
Hey, no fair!
Millenoi and Kronos, the original ones, both see what their alternate lives could have looked like through the years. Millenoi would have had a relatively normal childhood, surrounded by family and friends. And Kronos, though still technically a prisoner, would have had a comfortable life in the House of Hades. Millenoi returns to the present and sees Hecate, who's ready to take her revenge on Kronos. But Millenoi urges her to stop, confused by the good memories she's seen of him. Thanks to the memories from the alternate timeline, Kronos also has a sudden change of heart. He releases Hades, Persephone, and Zagreus from their time-frozen state. Fortunately, they all remember the alternate timeline as well, so they give him a chance at redemption, knowing he's not all that bad. And just like that, the House of Hades and its residents begin renovating the place, working to undo all the damage Kronos has done. Kronos has mellowed out considerably, and he is committed to making amends. He agrees to travel to Olympus to properly apologize to the Olympian gods. Selene gives a ride to Millenoi, Hecate, and Kronos as they travel across the night sky. When Kronos leaves for Olympus, Artemis and Apollo join in as they journey back to the crossroads. They have a nice moment while Artemis and Apollo sing their song. Back home, Millenoi hangs up her new family portrait. So everything's mostly resolved, but there's still work to be done. Millenoi can continue going through the underworld or through the surface, clearing out the remnants of Kronos' forces. Whenever Millenoi reaches the summit of Olympus, Kronos sends her to an alternate timeline where Typhon still exists. That way, Typhon can be erased from that version of reality. She does the same with the other versions of Kronos in different timelines as well. As Millenoi continues her work, the Fates eventually reach out to her through the Fated list, telling her how to find them. When they finally make an appearance, the Fates basically announce their retirement. The Fates will no longer weave the threads of destiny, which means the future will no longer be predetermined. At the same time, the gods give up their authority over humanity, leaving humanity to govern themselves. So that's the end of the story, but there is one last thing that's important. The Fates mentioned that Hecate had pulled some strings, so Millenoi asks Hecate what they meant by that. So the two of them have a private meeting at the hot springs. Hecate takes off her mask, revealing her bare face. The big twist is, Hecate is actually Millenoi from an alternate timeline. In the timeline she came from, she defeated Kronos and tried to enter his subconscious. Something went wrong, and she went way back into the past, near the beginning of time. Many years passed, and that version of Millenoi became the Hecate we know now. They both agree to keep this a secret between them. Anyway, that's it. That was Hades 2 Condensed. Thanks for watching.